Okay, good morning, everybody. We are getting going with the stream today. A few hiccups, had to redo it a couple times. Sometimes it doesn't want to update the settings for YouTube, and I won't be able to see the chat or anything like that. But we've got it going. We were able to take down the Southern Hive Queen and the Guerrilla Bandit leader yesterday, collecting even more money we're not sure we need for any reason. We have expanded the base dramatically and improved the defenses. We've got crazy harpoon turrets, high walls, and we went over that yesterday. So the plan today is to finish crafting. We have overdone our steel and iron production, whether it's the base iron here or the actual iron plates, to make sure that all of our crafters have materials to work with. We even have Shrike back to making katanas for us. We plan on trying to have edge 2 katanas on everyone, which is kind of the equivalent of proccing masterwork with armor. It just takes time and effort. So we'll keep crafting there. We won't hold up anything for Shrike because we just got her started. We did even give Hotlongs a job besides just engineering. We're kind of stretched to our limit here. We only have 8 people defending the base with the harpoon turrets. But a lot of that's because if someone was to break through, they're just going to get their ass kicked. So it's not as big of a deal. The biggest thing is we have all this room. And Stubbs is over here making us a ton of building materials. And right now he's got us up to like 85. I don't think he's been storing anywhere else. And we're going to look at laying out a home, an individual home for everyone. This is just kind of, it serves 2 purposes. One, it gives me something to do while my crafters finish getting lucky with making masterwork armor. And 2, it just makes sense that after you've defeated all of your enemies, you're not in a desperate bid for survival anymore. It's time to stop shacking up in a 30-person barracks. Now, I'm not sure if we'll have room because of this slope to give everyone their own home, but we're definitely going to look at it and try. We do have a lot of opportunity to expand our copper mining if we needed to, but I kind of like having the mining operation here. The only thing I don't like is that behind the gate, I would love to put some buildings with harpoon turrets so that when we do get attacked, we can just head up there and still have a little bit of height advantage to shoot at people as they come through the gate. Because really it's just about reducing their numbers down to at least what our numbers are. That's the only big thing you want to accomplish there. So we're going to see, we'll probably not be able to do more than a storm house. Just because this base has so much functional equipment that wasn't really laid out in a minimalist intention. Like once we're done crafting, maybe we can move the batteries and everything closer to the wall. Maybe we can look at taking down the hemp production because we won't need fabrics anymore. But then again, we may need those to make our own medical kits. We haven't even looked at that yet. So there's still some things where we may keep this as like the working district and then try to have the houses back here. So it looks like we can put them on this slope, which is going to be nice. That's going to give us more room. I kind of want it to almost feel like a neighborhood, as weird as that sounds. Just everybody's houses kind of going in a line. Oh, there's no reason to curve that much. So what do we got? 5, 6, and then we hit this crazy hill. then see here, it looks like there's a lot of area where I'm going to struggle to put these, but we'll see. And see, that's only 21. We're going to have to press out more. Or not curve back at all and do kind of what I was thinking before. Can this press back more? Anywhere over here? I also don't want the doors to be inaccessible or look inaccessible. So how many is that? 13. 15. Now, if we were to go and place these kind of facing the others. And you see how it's kind of not really following the same pattern because of where we have to put the spacing. Maybe instead of having them face each other and it only being a big circle or 2 rows, we'll just do more rows. The biggest thing I'd like to avoid is them being crammed up on the machinery. I feel like that would suck. The whole idea is to give them a better living quarters. I feel like they've earned it after everything they've done to at least have their own space, even if they're close to their neighbors. And that's just a limitation of how much building real estate we have, you know? Because we could spread them out more, but there's only so much room. So that's what, 15? $25, so we need 5 more. So that'll give us 30 houses that they can kind of use as just living quarters, which is pretty nice. I think that this will be a cool change, getting away from this barracks type situation. We'll disassemble the beds and change them into more of a change this into more of an armory situation. Now, I think Hot Longs was operating the steel refinery, so we'll go ahead and have Crumble John do that. Let's do it this way. And then if he gets bored, he'll haul some iron plates. Well, we honestly don't need him doing that if he's doing the refinery. It doesn't look like we're getting ahead on specifically doesn't seem to be necessary. I wish let Hot Longs get to work on building everybody a house. So that's going to allow us to have living quarters for everyone. We'll be able to put like tables and stuff. This is like aesthetics. Obviously, this isn't the best neighborhood ever. It's still somewhat close to an iron refinery. But if you think about it, in game, that's how noisy it is. By the time you get back to where the house is, you barely hear it. So we'll say it's because the technology is so good, it's not that loud. But yeah, we'll get their homes built. Let's check in on Spade, see how the armor crafting's going. Are you out of material? Yeah. She's waiting on armor plating. Inu, where are you? Grabbing more material. So we might be over tapping our regular iron. No, it looks like it's there. She's just crafting so fast that they're struggling to keep up with her because she's doing helmets. So let's give them a break. Oh, not her. Inu. Excuse me. Inu, we want you doing your job. We want Spade to take a break and go dispose of the helmets that aren't good enough. I did figure out that just crafting a single armor type kept her from glitching out trying to put stuff away. For some reason, she just can't play Tetris, even when there's plenty of room. Or if there isn't room, that's where it really seemed to be a problem. If there wasn't room for the piece she was trying to put away, she didn't seem to understand that and move on to the next storage. So I would have to manually get her going over and over, which really slowed down production. So we just started doing nothing but crab armor until we had 30 masterwork pieces. Got those equipped to everybody, and we're just disposing of the specialist material. Because we could take these and sell these and it wouldn't be bad, but we don't need the money. And the time and effort it takes to pack a bunch of these up, get everyone organized, and take to sell them is just taking time out of production time. It's a lot better to just dispose of it, get a ton of raw iron to make plate with, and proceed that way. Alright, so that's all masterwork. Fantastic. These are not. Let's go through these. Unfortunately, it does take quite a bit of time to get masterwork for everybody, even in the 90s. Having her crafting all the way in the 90s isn't giving us as often as I would like having masterwork produced. And that's what makes producing the plate mail so awful, or sorry, the chain mail. The chain mail is going to require so much time just to make it. But then on top of that, to try and get all masterwork, it's probably not worth it unless I'm just grinding for a long time off stream, just kind of letting it run. And depending on if you're the kind of person that enjoys that build up and enjoys just managing the base, may not be the way to go. And this is just one style of playing. You know, you don't ever have to make a base. You don't have to get this crazy materials production system going. You don't even need to research this much science. This just makes it to where if you're playing without mods, you'll actually have the manpower and ability to fight back against the huge groups that'll attack you without having to just take a beating after beating after beating, risk people dying. that's the biggest difference. You know, we don't lose people very often. The one time we did, I took way too many brand new, totally green recruits in decent equipment with toothpicks to fight one of the strongest areas in the game. I mean, it was really pushing to see, from a non-storytelling perspective, what the limits were of using the crossbows and the toothpicks specifically. But yeah, you see, once you get those multi-harpoon turrets and some spotlights so they're not shooting in the dark, it's crazy. And these guys are fairly skilled at turrets because they've been on the turrets their whole lives at this point. How's our building materials coming? He's not really keeping up with hot longs, but it'll happen. And once we've got everybody's house kind of situated and built, we'll start looking at the interior. We'll get beds built for them. We'll take the beds in the barracks apart. I don't think we're going to put a skeletal repair bed in 4 people's houses. It'll take up room and it's just too much. What I'll probably do is just leave that in the barracks. Well, the armory, as it were. Mew, what are you up to? You out of spring steel? Or are you just dorking up? Okay, you're out of spring steel. That's fine. Where's the one making spring steel? You can also work that one if need be. And we'll just have to keep an eye on her backpack, because it's going to get filled up with nonsense working 2 different crossbow part benches. Inu, calm down. I don't know why she does this. She's always just up here tweaking on this bench, and doesn't seem to matter what I do. Nothing really helps fix it. Let's count out our masterwork armor here and see. So that's 4 by 6. That's 24. Oh no, these are specialists. There's a bunch of specialists mixed in. I wish we'd have had 24 of these already made up just in one box. That would have been very good news. Okay, so 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 3, 4, 5, 26, 27. We're very close to being done with helmets. And then it's just crafting pants and we're off to the races, which is fantastic. Spade, let's have you trash the specialist gear again. We need 2 more. We need 2 more, if that. Let me double check that there aren't more people wearing masterwork. It might be done already. Oh yeah, we've got enough masterwork helmets floating around, it looks like. Okay, let's go ahead and change that. Samurai leg plates. Let's go. Get Spade back to her job. Go through, find who needs a masterwork helmet, have them come get one. dispose of their own old helmet. So we'll just slowly re-equip everybody, get them all set, and then we're just waiting on one piece of armor. We're not at the point where we're looking at crafting chainmail yet. If we get to that, it'll be off stream for the most part when we do the chainmail crafting, because it's just sitting there waiting for it to go and hoping you get masterwork. Or we may just stick with specialist for the chainmail, because I'm gonna have to set up a whole new station. I may not have even researched it yet. Just having everybody in masterwork armor with specialist chest piece is going to be incredible as it is. Because if you look at the differences, it's going to come down to like harpoon resistance, it's going to come down to the cut resistance efficiency, and you're going to see a less decrease in your stats. So like the helmet is minus 20 perception for masterwork. Looks like that's the same across the board. But we're going to get a lot more protection from damage. And then the chest penalty, I can't even see anymore, but for specialist on the pants, our combat speed is like a 4% loss. But once you hit masterwork, you're sitting at only 2. So there's always some improvement. Since Bombingham's here, we'll just have him take care of the trash for us right quick. Rumble John. And see, yeah, we're seeing all of these just specialist grade leg plates drop, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. That's what's going to happen. Okay, Soto, do you need a new helmet? Yep. And it might seem kind of crazy just tossing out anything specialist, but we can't expand more. We don't need the money. Like I said before, selling it's a pain in the butt. So this is just kind of where we're at. Plus it gives us more raw iron to make the armor plating. pretty close to having everybody in masterwork chest and helmet. Then it's just leg plates. And that's going to be pretty awesome having everyone in maxed out armor. Take a second. The homes are coming along pretty nicely. We are seeing Stubbs struggle to keep up, but he's making them as fast as he can crank them out. Peace, do you need a new helmet? Nope. Streak, you do. We're gonna ditch that rusty chain shirt, I think. And that leather armor, it just doesn't serve a purpose. We did see... That's something I kind of wanted to check out. No, turn off your jobs. I do think just from a look standpoint, the boots look a lot nicer. And while that's kind of a silly reason to swap to boots, it also does give us more harpoon resistance on half of our leg. We don't have any combat speed penalty. The athletics penalty is minimal. But we are losing 5% of our combat speed and 10% athletics, 16% athletics. So we're going to be 16% slower and 5% attack slower in exchange for a ton of blunt and cut resistance and harpoon resistance on half of our foot. But it's also going to just look a lot better. We'll be in full heavy armor. We might go with that just for the aesthetics. At this point, there's not a lot of difference. Do we really feel the difference in running? What are we running at? 23 miles an hour versus 21. So a 2 mile an hour loss. I don't think that's gonna make a big difference. We're not running fast enough for it to. Drop off another Meitu weapon. Drop the sandals in the random junk drawer. That needs to go in the med supply kit. We'll get Streak, excuse me, something to eat and get back to work. Did get him his helmet. Little, you need one. Skinner's already got one. Stubbs needs one. Mew. And then as far as the rest of this armor goes. Any excess helmets we'll probably look at getting rid of. Any excess armor pieces we'll probably look at getting rid of. Like, we're not gonna break down a masterwork piece of armor. There's still the small chance somebody could die. I don't want to see that happen, obviously, but it's still possible. But we'll move these over out of the armor production area just so that she can keep producing without me having to constantly monitor if she's filled up the area. Yeah, we're not... Well... Let's go see what they have. Does anyone have a big enough backpack to grab a bork ton of iron plates? There we go. Drop those on the ground. Oh, the building materials too. What am I saying? We could totally use building materials. Oh, we don't need that hyperleg. Get that out of here. So with these traders, if you pause, you can just buy their whole stock out. Because as soon as you buy something, they'll just leave. But you can buy their whole stock out, dump it on the ground, and then these guys will come and pick it up. We can also get hot longs to pick some up. But who was it that was grabbing those for me in the first place? Scratch. We'll take you... No, it wasn't. Streak. Well, you're on ore drill, dude. I've got to have somebody... Peace, you're on turret duty. Yeah, we'll take you off of turret duty. Just long enough to go drop these off. Honestly, I just need her to get them inside the base. They can sit there on the floor and it won't hurt anything. Eventually, hot longs will come and get them. Throw you back on jobs and we're good to go. Now we're able to purchase a bunch of extra building materials to let hot longs sketch up. Snagged a few iron plates to boot. We can keep everybody building and working. Now, did we get everyone in Squad 2 into master work? In Squad 1, you were relocating the armor. That's what you were doing. That's what we were in the middle of. And we'll have to come back for one more piece of armor. But we'll relocate that to the armory, just so it's not in the production area. And keep Spade from getting all tangled up and not being able to put stuff away. Ooh, looks like we're already kind of full over here. I've got room for that last piece, so that's all that matters. And there is a lot of base maintenance going on here. We're kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of building up your armor, actually fishing for enough masterwork items to gear everyone up in perfect gear. And it's not the most exciting part of Kenshi for some people, but I really like the process of building up my guys to being perfectly equipped. And it's something that you've got to do. It's how the game works. This is what it is. I am going to work on another series. Once we kind of achieve their goals, I'm going to look at making a video series. Actually learn to edit videos properly. And my son actually does YouTube and is actually good at it. So I'll be learning a little bit from him and then learning a little bit here and there where I can. But I want to do something kind of like Rust Hilt, if you've ever seen it. It was more of a story-driven thing that Mathis Games did. It's like they changed their channel now. They're like a podcast, so it's from years ago. But Kenshi has the ability to tell some crazy stories. And if you're doing a video instead of a live stream, and you still kind of just roll with the punches like we have, where our squad was knocked down to 2 people and had to build back up to 30, that can tell a pretty cool story if you're editing it right, getting the clips you need, doing a proper voiceover, having a script. And so that's going to be one of the projects I do on the side when I have time. Because now that my son's busy all the time, I have time. My wife works. My son's very busy with friends, with martial arts. So we've got time to do lots of side projects. And so I'm just kind of throwing myself at it. We're going to do, like I said, that video series, but I also am going to do a live stream with a different strategy of playthrough. I haven't decided if it's just going to be martial artists or if it's going to be, one of each weapon type. Everyone kind of has their own weapon type they use, so we can hunt down the Mei-2 versions of that. And they're all in light assassin rags or mercenary leathers, and just really focusing on toughness, taking fights we can win, making ourselves an assassin squad or a very small mercenary squad, not focusing on the base building, not crafting our own armor, none of that. I mean, we probably would just buy property somewhere and get enough beds for everybody and not even bother with a base. And that could be our stream, what we'll be streaming for Kenshi after we finish this playthrough. It'll be a situation where there's a lot more action. We're pretty much always fighting. We're just hunting down bandits. We're raiding Big Thing nests. We're trying to topple leaders with a small crew by getting in, using stealth to get in, and not using assassination, but just trying to attack them quickly and get out of there. So we see Hot Longs is about to grab all those building materials. Let's go ahead, Hot Longs, and grab more this time. Spend less time running back and forth. And she'll eventually get to where she's coming to grab these instead. Probably should change her backpack, but it's not going to make much difference. We're here, crafting things up, getting our houses built. Spade, how's it going? You're just standing around. Are they having trouble keeping up with you again? Inu's going at it. Benji's going at it. Do we need somebody else doing this? Hey Benji, why don't you come over here? Grab some of those. same with Inu. Just pack in some iron, guys. Don't just grab one. Might be time to add another one of these. What does that take? 4 plates. Just that way, if Spade is literally sitting there, she can start working on plate beating as well. But I don't want to take Benji or Inu off of it. This is the only bummer, is the sheer amount of time and materials we're going to spend just trying to get enough masterwork to equip everybody. We do have a lot of these filled out, though. Let's take a count here. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we need a lot of these, so no point in really trying to count it out yet. But we'll keep Spade, Benji, and Inu busy. Soto, how's your work coming along? Those are all masterwork. Those are all masterwork. A lot of those are masterwork. Nice. Literally all but one. I do believe that's 30 Eagles Cross. Let's turn your jobs off. Yeah, so that's 27. 31, yeah, we're done here. Excellent. Mew, we're going to take you off of that. We're going to swap this to longs. Soto. Have you worked that one? you doing? You're doing nothing? Oh, I just took you off of it and your job. Okay. So now all we need is a crazy amount of steel. We just want him helping here. And then hauling to steel production. Because we've got Shrike using the steel, producing katanas. What are we getting here? We're getting some edge 2s. We were looking at getting Falling Suns for a while, and swapping to heavy weapons, but it really was just a matter of getting away from using toothpicks. That's where the lack of damage was coming from, and why it felt like we weren't getting as much done against heavier armored opponents, or just really tough animals. You want more damage, and you want to get off the toothpicks when you're later in the game. They were excellent for leveling early game and just stunning low armor enemies, but later in the game you want something better. So let's get to organizing Shrike's output. We'll keep any edge 2 Falling Suns just in case. Change my mind on that. We don't need any toothpicks anymore. We'll hold on to the Mark II. And we're going to move this to the armory as well. And then basically it's just if it has a brown handle instead of a silver looking one, we chuck it. Oh, somebody's attacking us. I can hear it. And then we'll ditch. They're not actually accomplishing anything, are they? No. Oh, but this guy. See, I hate these little corner guys. We'll bait him in. Ha! Oops. Yeah, I can see that they failed, that's for sure. Oh no, you went and did your job and put stuff away. Darn it, Shrike. Oh goodness, come on game. Turn off your jobs. Grab that. Take it to the armory. Get it out of your way. Okay, now you can get back to it. Those are all reject Eagles crosses that got put over here as well. How's Hot Longs doing? We've got most of, well, half the houses built. They're coming along. We're going to have a home for everybody. We'll have to figure out whose is whose and what's what. The other cool thing I really like about playing modded is I would just have robots up here. Then you just don't have these problems. They stay up there. They don't need to eat. You put them in heavy armor, set and forget. So that'll be something fun for if we do a modded playthrough where we still do a big base. But this base has come along nicely for playing with no mods and just dealing with the base game. We've built a hell of a base. We're able to defend it. We're able to take down really strong enemies. This has been a really strong not modded playthrough. Okay, let's get this. No, it's putting it in her pocket, darn it. Unfortunately, most of the stuff she's producing is coming out specialist. We're not seeing a lot of masterwork pants being made. She's operating at a 94 too. And then what's Soto at? 94 as well. Mew's not quite as high, but she wasn't our main smith. She's just been making ammo for us a lot. Enu, you're freaking me out with your tweaking. Maybe I just need to move that bench. Maybe Enu's just weird. Who knows? But this will be like the only base building we're going to do probably for the rest of the game on stream. Once the houses are built and set up to actually live in them, and we have all of our equipment crafted, we're probably going to look at figuring out, you know, leaving someone back to make ammo, leaving someone back to make food, 8 people on the turrets, and the rest of everybody goes out. But that's going to leave those people at base not getting stronger. So we're going to have to make a decision between doing that and just accepting we're going to have to do some off-stream ammo production. Maybe we'll just overkill our ammo production like we did our food production before. And just when it's off stream, I'll let them grind that out so that we always have food and ammo and we can just go do what we want to do. But right now we're just trying to get these homes built, give everybody somewhere to stay that's just theirs. Hot Longs, are you AFK? Like, come on, man. Oh, looks like her pathing's jacked up because of the hill. Do a quick save and reload. Sometimes, especially when you're not building on a perfectly flat surface, you're going to have to do this. I do love seeing the front of the base all lit up, nice and bright, especially the entrance area. Let's get everybody actually inside the base. There we go. How longs are you still stuck? No, you're not. Okay, good. Yeah, and that's usually all it's going to take. Do a save and reload. It'll kind of fix the pathing. You can also hit Shift F12 and just fix stuff, and sometimes that'll help. But save and reload is the most reliable to fix pathing issues like that when you're at your base. peace, let's have you come over here. Actually, put these into houses. Just give hot longs a jump start. And then if we see another trader come by, we will go ahead and purchase more building materials from them. I got to do something for Inu. This is driving me crazy. Inu, let's take your job off. Yeah, chill. Grab that iron so we don't waste it. No. Turn your job off. Dismantle this thing. Whoa. Just Inu, guys. Just Inu. And we'll try having you craft from this side. See if that helps. Maybe Inu will stop tweaking so hard now. It also won't hurt to have hot longs come jumpstart the plate beating. Gives Fate a little more room. I think we can go down one person on the walls and send them to try and retrieve some materials to jumpstart us a little bit. The building materials I'm not too worried about. That's just something that'll happen over time. But getting some armor plating piled up would be really good. Whoa. There's our bull. Maybe they wandered out when I fixed the walls. I do miss having that giant carrying capacity. If for some reason we end up losing a couple people somehow, I probably will go back to having 2 animals, or at least 1. But 2 animals was absolutely fantastic. Armor plating. They don't really have anything else, so we can buy that and some steel. And we'll just head back to base, because there is a challenge coming, and I don't want to be caught with my pants down for that. Have our full team. They might beat me there anyway. Ooh, they're gonna beat me there. Interesting. Yep, they're gonna beat peace there. We're gonna take all of squad 2 off of their jobs. Just hold right here. How long as you come work on the door. Are we shooting these guys? Okay, there. We had to reload, it looks like. Take them off of range so they can get out there. That way they're not beating the fuck out of our walls. Okay, easy enough. Peace, what are you doing? Who else is supposed to be on turrets? Enu's still tweaking. That's so weird. Listen up, hear us out? Yeah, I don't think we're going to. Sorry, buddy McCoy Bacon. What can I do to stop this? Why? What is wrong with you? What is your malfunction? I think I just need to accept that she likes to break dance while she works and just leave it alone. Now we're starting to see some masterwork come out. Probably isn't even worth trying to get. Ooh, did something sneak in there? Yep. It probably isn't even worth trying to get any kind of chainmail going until our skill is as high as we can realistically get it. Because we're still so far from even being at 95%. And that's with the bonus. All of our crafters who are focused on weapons crafting and armor crafting, like our crossbow crafter is a Shek, but even with that, she still got up to a really high stat pretty quickly. But our armor smith and actual weaponsmiths were both Scorchlanders. Just to try and get them to level up a little faster, be making better armor sooner, but it still just takes time. And it's just a luck of the draw thing, from what I understand. You're just not going to get to where you just make masterwork. And you're certainly not going to get to where you just make Edge 2, Edge 3 weapons. I don't even think we have access to Edge 3. It's just a luck of the draw. Sometimes Shrike will make Edge 2. And her weapon crafting takes forever. She's only made one weapon this whole time. So So she's got a 33% chance to have critical success. Takes an hour in game to get it made. I feel like she should have more of those made. Oh, I guess she's made some in her inventory. We won't bother swapping out everybody's crossbows just yet, but eventually we'll get them swapped over to the Eagle's Cross and let them try it out. See how it feels and just hope we don't murder each other. That's the only thing I'm worried about, is with our toughness not being higher, the first time we go out with those, we could end up just shooting somebody dead. And there's no going back from that if you're not going to save scum. So it's just kind of risky. I don't really know how to double check and see. Maybe I can look up the damage math and see what the average damage we're going to take is. Because there's also luck involved. The person in front happens to get hit by everyone in your squad. That could be horrible. Like, if they get hit in the head, they are taking 90 points off of that damage, but it's still concerning. The homes are coming along nicely, though. Once those are built, we'll get in there, like I said, and get beds put in, kind of set up a real house, put a food store in there, things like that. I do think another great way to make a city would be to build all of your houses in a semicircle, and or a full-on circle even inside the base, and have turrets along the top. You probably wouldn't be able to have everyone having their own house. It just would be too big to matter. But if you had, 3 or 4 people, and maybe this wouldn't be that it's a house design. This is just a second layer of defense design, that right behind the gate, once they break through, everybody's already up top sitting on turrets, and when they come through the gate, in order to break down any door after trying to break down the gate, they've got to get through the doors on those houses while being shot from every angle. There's a lot of benefit, though, to focusing them on the door, because then they're all standing here and everyone's shooting in the same direction, and it's really hard to miss. Ideally, we'd rather have, like, if we hadn't built all of our crafting stations next to the gate, which was just a bad plan, I would stretch the wall out to here, and then we would have very straight gunner walls that came in at an angle aimed at the gate, so we would have a lot less shooting ourselves going on. But even with this setup, we don't seem to be having a lot of issues. We're not hitting each other. Like, none of them have taken any damage, so we're not too worried about it. It does seem like our food production's still pretty spectacular. They're running food clear over here to buy the gunners, which I'm not sure if they're eating it or how that's going. I know if they're in combat they won't, but I think they're able to eat without even getting off of their turrets. Let's see, are you able to grab this? Yeah, I think they're able to eat without even leaving the turret, which is fantastic. just bugs me, Inu. I just don't want it. It looks bad. Alright, Crumble John, what are you doing? We're not overloading our steel, are we? No, we're good. That lets Shrike, Mew, and Soto keep crafting. We're building up a ton of ammunition for our Eagle's Cross, which is great because they go through it a lot faster. Each one of those is 10 shots, whereas each one of these is 30 shots. So that may be another reason why we don't look at switching to the Eagle's Cross, is the sheer amount of ammo it's going to take. But for certain situations, like if we're trying to take over a large city, we could look at just hanging back and bombarding them with our Eagle's Crosses in a nice firing line. Really, the only reason I'm bothering to do those is because we've got time and we've got the production for it. So while we're waiting for our armor to get crafted, I really don't want to switch over to Eagle's Cross yet and have somebody die. But I think eventually we'll get to where it's realistic to use those without worrying about killing each other. Ooh, even more masterwork coming down. Come on now. We're going to have her actually help with crafting building materials if she runs out. It looks like as soon as she gets done putting one in, though, he's gotten another ready. I've just got to figure out where I can build it. But this would be much nicer to have. Yeah, I think we'll take Hot Longs off of Engineer and just build up building materials so that we can build the new mine. Because don't get me wrong, I want to get the houses built, but we're going to need a lot more stuff to finish these out. We're going to need building materials, and this is just taking way longer than it should because we haven't updated our stone mine yet. I also think there's a world where we end up buying a full set of backpacks, like 3 backpacks to a person loaded with building materials and iron plates, so that we can build another base if we need to. It might be nice to base in the United Cities if we're going to actually try and take them out, rather than walking all the way back over here through some of the worst mapping, like worst pathing there is. We also could set up in the Holy Nation territory now that it belongs to the Shek. Have a nice green, pretty base, built somewhere nice. But I think this will be home, and then we will build some kind of base in the United Cities that's more utilitarian, just to give us a striking point. It'll just be a place where we can produce ammunition and med kits, and that'll be it. And robotics. We'll need to look at producing those soon. That way we don't have to go to town for anything. How are we doing over here? We needed what, 35? I don't need this either. This is in the way. We really don't need it. Let's clean that mess up. Then we'll get her back to working. Does look like I made that corner good enough that she can get up here. That's cool. Nope. Did she just leave out the gate? Why is the gate open? Oh boy. Just went and left the gate open. I don't know why I did that. It finally happened. I'll be darned. Okay. We're gonna have to address that. I think it was Benji. You were our farmer, right? Our other farmer. I think we'll be able to start with this. Yeah, we've got so much. We should be able to get way ahead of our production here. I don't think we need to produce any more hemp. I'm glad I caught that we were running out of fabrics. That would be obnoxious having them just sitting there while I think they're crafting. Bad enough she's just not producing masterwork. You gotta get on it, lady. I know you're trying, but dang. We're not progressing like we should be. Inu, let's take you off jobs. We're gonna have you gather these up. Excuse me. You would go and grab food so that your inventory's full. I just want it to be a lot more obvious when we're getting done with this. So right now that puts us at 12, 20 of them. It's not bad. We're getting there. Shrike. Let's take a look at your progress. Definitely getting there. What do you have equipped? Definitely make sure you get one. Alright, so we've got enough building materials. We'll take you guys off jobs. Dismantle this. Set you guys to hauling to there. guys clean this mess up, and then we'll build the new mine. Benji, are you all jacked up? Yep, you're all jacked up. Okay. Let's have you hauling the fabric first. That should clear things up. You guys aren't really grabbing them out of there, are you? No. That's not what I mean. I don't want you putting materials further away for those guys. Come on. Alright, we'll turn your jobs off because you guys aren't smart enough to figure this out. Pick some stuff up. Have hot longs pick some stuff up. Stone mine. We're just gonna make this a little easier for now. Stubbs was 1, hot longs was 2. Honestly, we don't have to do that. If I'm manually picking it up, that doesn't matter. Nice. Okay, now we can do the hybrid stone mine. I'd like to see it in the 90%, but that's too close to a wall, I guess. It might be counting the storage, too. Yeah. This thing's just a greed monger for space, so... Storage, and we'll do building materials. Do it like out there. close might be a problem. Whoa. Okay, so it is these things here. We're not worried about losing a little bit of copper. It looks like there's not much in there anyway on this side. Yeah, looks like we're going to have to completely get rid of the copper we have over here. That's fine though. Do we have a decent amount over here before I do this? No, we moved it completely. I don't see us having a desperate need for electricals. And we're not going to be doing any training anytime soon, so we'll live to regret it if we have to. But I just don't want to try and move all this stuff. I want to get the mine back up and running. And misplacing stuff has been a constant problem where we don't think too carefully about where things are going. So I'm just getting that started over. Let's get the most we can out of this right off the bat. Like 92. Ground needs to be more level. That's rough. I really want at least 90%. I think I can get that if I tweak it just right. There's 91. There we go. Stubbs, what are you? Oh, you're building that ramp up right quick. That's fine. Stubbs, what are you doing? Why are you so bad at this? Just build this thing. You too, Hot Longs. What are you doing? We're focused on this. Just build this thing, guys. Didn't think it would be this hard to get them to stay focused on building this thing. We need 10 more materials. Need 3 more. materials and really quickly. That thing is going fast, so this should get our production for our houses up a lot faster. We can move you guys back to your squads. We almost need someone else to haul the fabrics. We're tapped out on people. I wish he would just know to go to the next drop-off spot, but that just doesn't seem to be in the making here for Kenshi. Soto, how is your ammo production coming along? Really well. We're already into the next bolt box. Fantastic. Spade, you're having to make your own armor plating again. Which is unfortunate. We don't like that. I'd like you to be really moving and going the whole time. We do seem to have caught up with our iron and steel production, which is nice. Materials trader, huh? Peace, you go talk to them. You've actually got the backpack for it. I wish you had armor plating for me to buy. That would be way better. But we'll catch up on materials any way we can. I just want to get these inside the base and we'll get the gate closed so that we don't get surprise attacked. maxed out our steel production, so we're just gonna let that ride. Birmingham, were you really doing both of these? Crumble John. We'll have you keep hauling those building materials, why not? What were you doing before? No, yeah, I think it was you doing the other steel refinery. We're about packed on iron anyway. Okay, so let's look at this. Have you operate steel. Crumble John, we're gonna have you come hauling fabrics. We'll let Benji focus on just doing the hemp. Hot Longs is pretty close to getting the neighborhood done, which is nice. We may want to step up our power production, but I'm not sure if we'll need to or not. If we do, we can still build it along that side wall without interfering too much. But I think as we expand the houses, give them lights, things like that, we may need more power. But we'll see. Our power is pretty overkill too. Oh wait, no, we got you actually doing something important. Little, you are not. There is no reason to be operating this many ore drills with all the ore I have from crafting. Just have him clean up this building material. And a lot of this is honestly so I can take my screenshots. Leaving the materials around hasn't really ever affected my game in any way that I could notice, but every time I try to get rid of the UI and take a screenshot, I do it using alt print screen, so it just puts all of these names up instead of giving me a nice clean screenshot. So what I want to see is if we ever actually get to where we we hit our cap for power production. Because it doesn't look like we're going to as the day goes on. And I don't know if we'll eventually just run out of power at night. What we'll have to do is see how far power drains down to, and then see if the next day we get back up to where we were. So like see what the maximum was and see if we got to, and then see if we get there again. We also do have the option of just adding more power, but it's weird for me with the way I've always done this, seeing it not max out. But I've also got so much battery capacity, it's not funny, that we just don't need. But we'll keep an eye on what it dips to at the lowest and see if it matters. What? Did these get rearranged? I could have sworn I had nothing but masterwork in here. Oh well. Guess I wasn't as careful as I thought. She's randomly putting them upstairs too, that's kind of weird. Let's take you off of jobs for a second. Get this organized again. First one is all masterwork. That puts us at 12. Plus another 10, that's 22. There's a lot of not masterwork here that needs cleaned out. This is 16 plus 12 is 28. We should be done. I'm pretty sure we're done. Let's see if everybody's got pants. I think we're done with pants too. that stuff off. Then we'll come get his pants. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up today's stream there. I'm going to be kind of doing more of the same. I'll get these houses built. I'll get the armor built. But I don't want to go too crazy having just a base building session that isn't heavily edited. So if you see here, we're getting our neighborhood built. Everyone's going to have their own private living quarters. It'll feel more like home. We're probably going to stop keeping people on gate guard, or if we do, we'll do it in rotations. Try to make it feel more like this is home than just a place that we're desperately trying to build up a fighting force. Also get everyone in perfect equipment so that when we do make that swap to Eagles Cross, we're not as at risk as we could be. We also may look at just purchasing better weapons since we're limited by what Shrike can do. We actually can't get the best. We may just quit trying to craft those, focus on building ammunition, and purchase better swords from the Desert City over time. But we'll see. We'll probably try to get us an Edge 2, and it'll just depend on how long that takes. But I'll wrap that up here, and then this afternoon we're going to get straight into it. We are going to go start feeling out the crab area. We're going to do some science, treasure hunting, and just see if the gurglers are still over here. Because I'm betting they're not. And there's also going to be lots of bandit groups to clean up over here. People we can take out. We can check out the Forbidden Isle. Just do some exploring, but we'll get straight to it. We'll test out our weapons and see how they feel. And yeah, no more base building probably for the rest of this playthrough on stream, even if I have to force it.